What's up, y'all? Winnie here, and welcome back to SCP Foundation Wiki. Today we're going to be checking out Recycling Leaves, a Balanced Diet, Ant-Man. It only makes us stronger and flotation device website. Although I note they censored what kind of dot it is, so maybe there's something to that. So let's check out them leaves. They're safe, and there's a picture of a tree covered in those leaves. SP-1580 is currently held in the Site-30 terrarium, within a 7 by 7 meter lot. Instances of one are to be constantly monitored for alterations in behavior or vocalization. The leaves can talk. They're not leaves, are they? Attempted communication with sapient instances of 1580 is currently prohibited. Okay. SP-1580 is a Quercus virginiana specimen, also known as the southern live oak. It currently has a limb spread of 19 meters and is 22 meters in height as of October the 3rd, 2010, or March the 10th, 2010. Don't know yet. The age is currently estimated to be 65 years, and it shows no remarkable qualities regarding its physical appearance or composition. It sheds its leaves at a heightened pace, ranging from 70 to 180 in 1 minute. Dang. The main anomalous property is the autonomous nature of its leaves, designated instances of one. Instances of one display no anomalous properties until they are detached from the tree. This may be caused through either manual removal by outside forces or the anomalous property. Upon making contact with a solid surface, an instance of one will sprout four limbs extending from its veins. The veins grow about 2 centimeters from their original positions and are used for both bipedal and quadrupedal mobility. After developing these limbs, one will attempt to travel to where it originally grew on 1580. It will use all four of its limbs to climb the trunk. Once it reaches its original location, it will seamlessly reattach its stipule to the branch by physical contact. Instances of one appear to display sentience as they wait for other instances to reattach themselves before continuing to climb to their branch. Preventing an instance from reaching its branch will cause its limbs to recede back into itself, and decomposition will begin as expected. 1580 will begin to naturally grow another instance of one if any are destroyed or otherwise removed from its proximity. Whispering of 15 to 18 decibels can be heard from all instances. Attempts to record single instances of one will cause the instance to cease speech, and no coherent speaking can be singled out in recordings of all instances at once. Further study on the possibility of sapience is underway. Addendum A. All instances of one halted on whatever day this was. Recordings of the event under later inspection revealed one instance of one to be speaking at 38 decibels. No evidence of the event described by the instance has been found, and evaluation of the involvement of redacted in society is under consideration. Today, one whole tale has been forgotten. Not just left in the archives of an old, but left in their withered corpse, an occasion that rarely occurs. How many years has it been since the first one? Time went from crawling to flying, though I do not know how. Look at me now. The only reason I'm still here is my immaturity, making myself bustle and hustle about. I'm no more in worth than the villagers of today. It's not how I should be. Thickening. My tale has already been long forgotten. I cannot remember it myself. Ah, how I wish for days past, but today I am trapped with the very men and women who vanquish tales. Those that are left alive today are nothing but warped figures of what used to be. Remind my rambling. I will continue my shrieking. Remembrance is nice, even if it's made from those you despise. After the first coherent vocalizations of a SP-1581 instance, all instances began to repeatedly speak the following. We climb and climb, afraid of time. It ticks and tucks like falling blocks. Don't want to die in tears and grime. Our mother's locks her lovely flock. We cannot cry, so life's sublime. We're ne'er not fast, and though we laugh, only a few fairy tales can last when a foundation rips apart the past. So, so this was last edited October 1st of 2022. It sounds like the leaves are mad at the Foundation for not letting them do whatever their life cycle actually is, or the leaves are actually people. So I guess the tree's just upset about being experimented on. Maybe they pulled a leaf that was important and like, well, we don't have that now. Thanks for nothing. Screw you. Meh. All right, so next up is a balanced diet. If this is the one, okay, it's safe. It's safe, presumably. SCP-1581 is to be contained within a standard 5 by 5 by 5 meter cell or 5 meters cubed in site somewhere. No further actions are necessary unless experiments are being conducted. One is to be contained in a standard human containment unit. There's a strike through, so I'm going to read that. Because of continued cooperation with the Foundation, SCP-1581-1 is allowed to tour the site if accompanied by security personnel, and any appropriate request may be reviewed and granted. No contact is permitted with any personnel actively involved with any SCP object. Otherwise, anyone with level 1 clearance or higher is allowed to engage with one in a casual conversation or arrange visits in the containment unit. Now it says, following Incident 1, one is to be confined to the containment unit at all times, and no personnel is allowed to enter the unit without level 4 authorization and supervision. This restriction can be ignored by security personnel for interventions in case of an emergency. The toilet that one uses must be designed and fitted with a device that automatically seals the matter one defecates into plastic containers before disposal. Okay. SCP-1581 is a cohesive lump of semi-digested carrot pulp and mashed carrots, approximately 2.4 meters in diameter. It is roughly spherical and contains traces of other food components, as well as digestive enzymes, gut flora, and feces. When separating matter from 1581 through any means, the largest remaining part regains its original mass and size, while any separated material becomes non-anomalous. However, it can be relocated if moved as a whole. It is a spatial anomaly. Objects inserted from any direction enter a extra-dimensional space field with more of the same substance it is composed of, apparently found within an anomalously large gastrointestinal tract. Objects may also exit this extra-dimensional space the same way, by moving or being moved in a straight line through the position occupied by 1581 inside the tract. GPS devices placed within always indicate their location as 1. 1 is a human male, age 44, believed to somehow contain 1581, as well as the extra-dimensional space it leads to. One's intestines are completely filled with carrot pulp, and defecating results in the same substance. Despite this, one experiences no adverse health effects that this condition would normally create, and needs to consume food just like a regular human. Consumed food does not appear to enter one's gastrointestinal tract, and any object inserted into 1581 does not actually appear inside of one. Exploration of the space within is difficult due to the mashed carrot substance that appears to fill it completely. Human exploration is possible, but difficult and impractical. Endoscopic examination with modified length endoscopes has proved the most versatile. This way, the area in the vicinity of 1581 can be mapped by inserting an endoscope until an intestinal wall is hit, and then continue along the wall. Through this method, it has been found that the carrot pulp immediately around 1581 is contained within an intestine approximately 5 meters in diameter, and moving downstream at a rate of about 12 millimeters per day. Of note is the fact that about 15 meters downstream, a junction has been discovered in the gastrointestinal tract, where the intestine cavern splits into two smaller ones. Significance of this is unknown, and 1581-1's intestinal tract does not present any such anomalous anatomical features. Endoscopic examinations of 1 has shown that his duodenum and anus both lead to a similar extra-dimensional space as 1851. Discovery notes. 1 was brought to the Foundation's attention at some point in the 2000-something through a phone call placed by his son from their home somewhere to a local doctor, describing 1's condition that the son reported has been going on for 2 days prior to the call. At the time of containment, 1 was cataloged as anomalous item blank and lack of apparent need for containment procedures. 1 is unable to recall the exact moment of onset of his condition or any anomalous events that would have caused it, and has stated that he strongly dislikes the consumption of carrot-based foods. He was discovered after the material extracted from 1 was gradually collected into a large waste container following testing. When attempting to dispose of the contents, the anomalous nature of 1581 was immediately noted. It is believed that material from 1 reached a critical mass that somehow resulted in the creation of 1581. Experiments to attempt to create additional instances are not permitted at this time. Medical Intervention Report 319-1581. On May the 2000-something, at some point in the evening, bowel obstruction surgery was performed on 1 in an attempt to remove the matter filling his gastrointestinal tract. Surgery performed as usual, intestinal wall breached, and about a total of 11.7 kilograms of carrot pulp was removed. No anatomical abnormalities noted. 1 recovered in the next single-digit hours. Post-surgery examination revealed the absence of carrot pulp in one's intestines, and endoscopic examination revealed no further anomalous properties. Surgery declared success, one placed a containment for observation and following medical recovery. Of note that, at this time, GPS devices inserted into 1581 still showed their location as 1. Incident 1. On July the something, 2000 something, 44 hours after medical intervention 319 1581. Okay, what? Okay, so that tells me this is happening in either October, November, or December, and not May. Research assistant Peters performed a casual visit of one's unit. This was not considered unusual, and therefore their discussion was not recorded. The surveillance video logs of one's unit during this event can be accessed at redacted. Analysis of video logs shows no anomalous behavior beyond casual conversation. 12 minutes and 21 seconds after the conclusion of the visit, research assistant Peters gained access to 1581's containment cell and immediately presumed to consume material from it. Due to the low security priority of the cell, research assistant Peters was able to continue this activity for 2 minutes and 10 seconds before being forcefully removed by security personnel. Following the incident, research assistant Peters was unable to account for or explain his previous actions. Immediate medical examination revealed that no carrot pulp was present in researcher assistant Peters' gastrointestinal tract. Subsequent examination of one showed that his intestines once again contained carrot pulp and that the previous anomalous conditions had returned. One placed in isolation. Okay, so there was an interview. Interview between one and Dr. Steele concerning the events of the incident. The interview was performed 12 hours later. SP-1581-1. I would like to ask you some questions regarding yesterday. Please state your name for the record. He states his name. Go on, Doctor. Do you recall your last conversation with Research Assistant Peters? Yes, I believe I do. What exactly did you talk about? Just the usual news from the outside world, sports, the such. It's good to break the isolation from time to time. Oh, and we talked about me a bit too. He never really mentioned it before, but it's no surprise that he eventually did. I do have this terrible condition, and among friends, it comes up sooner or later. Are you aware that your condition was cured following the surgery? Cured? Gosh, no. You removed the substance, but the essence, that was still there, and now it's back, as you can see. So it seems. But why did you convince Research Assistant Peters to restore you to your current condition? Restore? Don't be silly, Doctor. How on earth would he even do such a thing? Are you not aware of Research Assistant Peters' actions following your discussion with him? No, I'm not. I assume he's a very busy man, lab coat and all. I don't ask him about his work. I know he can't tell me. 10 minutes after leaving your containment unit, Research Assistant Peters gained access to SCP-1581 and 8 from it. Ew. Oh, wow. I mean, it's carrots. Is he fine? He's alright for the time being, so are you saying you had nothing to do with what he did? What? You're thinking I hypnotized him or something? No, sir. It's not like I'd even know how to do that. We just talked, is all. Hey, if he's feeling better, could I see him later? I really want to be sure that he's fine. Interview concluded. 15 minutes after the interview, Dr. Steele was apprehended by security trying to gain access to the containment chamber of SCP-1581. So yeah, it looks like talking to him makes people want to go eat the stuff and he doesn't even know what's going on. He's just like, I like talking to people. Talking to people makes them go eat stuff out of your intestines dimension. That's weird and disgusting. Why would they do that? I don't know, but I guess I'm going to go do that too now. Stop! Anyway, that's not a very balanced diet at all. Now it's time for Ant-Man, which is also safe. It's a picture of two ocular drones. I don't like where this is going. SCP-1582 is located in a 3-meter cubed containment cell. Oh, it doesn't even say what it's a 3x3x3 of. It just says 3x3x3. I assume meter? Inch? I don't know how big the ants are. It's something. Covering the Queen's Nest at an isolated location in southwest Western Australia. Due to the fact that instances of one do not leave the nest, only 2 guards are required to stand watch for potential escape. Lethal force is acceptable for all instances save for 1 brain, but due to its size and inability to leave the nest, this is highly unlikely. SCP-1582 is an aboriginal man composed of he's made out of ants, estimated to be roughly 300 years old. This data was gathered from a nasal drone instance of 1 at some point in 1989. He's roughly 25 to 72 meters in area due to wars with other colonies and flood migrations. Certain instances of 1 are still uncontained due to theft from rival colonies and difficulties locating them. At time of this documentation, an estimated 5 pieces are missing, including the right forefinger, pinky toe, testicles, and the nasal cartilage. Uh, Wait, so the eye is an ant? SP-1582 is split into approximately 40,000 different ants, not including featureless soldier and worker 1582. The unique parts carrying human biological matter are referred to as 1. Instances of 1 rarely venture to the surface, the massive drones carrying the heart and lung biological parts never moving more than 1 meter from the brain. Testing reveals that 1582, the colony, will not expire if a vital organ is destroyed, but instead a new drone will be dispatched to the location to salvage biological matter from the housing sac located on the abdomen. Upon arrival, the drone will absorb the matter into its abdomen, becoming whatever that word is, until the retrieved liquid reforms at a sac located on its abdomen in effect creates a new instance of 1. It's believed that because of this, the destruction of the queen, which carries the brain, would most likely cause the destruction of 1582. It appears that most of the body's parts do not serve any real purpose or function save for the eyes, ears, nose, and an assemblage of organs involved in speech production. I lost my place. Okay, sensory organs such as the nose and eyes transmit information to the brain for up to 2 meters, albeit at a slow rate using a sort of chemical trail passed along worker ants. The exact mechanism is unknown. It is not known whether or not the entity can feel pleasure or pain. Certain instances of 1 can connect to one another to create working organic systems. Body parts and sacks of organic material connected to abdomens of 1 are detached and afterwards mended together by worker drones. Afterwards, the parts are retrieved and recycled using the previously mentioned process. The following is an interview. Okay, interview A. Is there another interview? An interview conducted with 1582 translated from his native language. Dr. Ortega requested an interview over loudspeaker. In 4 minutes, the 1582 combines the appropriate parts to form an assembly capable of speech. 1 tongue, 1 eye, eye number 1, eye number 2, trachea, larynx, pharynx, 1 ear, and 1 ear arrive at the interview table. Where's the brain? The brain? My brain, you mean instead it needs to be here? Well, no. Can you answer a few questions for us? Yes. How did you end up like this? Belong stole important part has me cornered. Infiltrating my ranks and stealing important parts so that even if I found the woman part, I could not have it. I need an important part. Pardon? Yorcha! Yo, how did you become split into a colony of ants? You ought to send men met. Only thing important, get it back. Eye and ear parts begin moving erratically around the table, each of them converging on the speech assemblage. Well, you coward snake! This will not go unpunished. 5082 begins ripping its tongue, larynx, and pharynx apart. The remainder of 1 begins traveling back towards its nest. The interview ended. Addendum A. Instances of 1582 itself were discovered at an isolated location in Western Australia, close to the proximity where the original 1582 was discovered. Results of DNA testing revealed that the colonies have been warring for body parts since roughly the 1790 to 1800. Due to the original cost of securing the original 1582, the duplicate colonies were simply exterminated, although certain instances of 1, including a tongue drone, were salvaged at the request of 1582 and agreement among those presiding over the containment. Addendum B. Female 1 instances were found in close proximity of those found previously. It appears that the female 1582 colony was in possession of the original 1582's testicles and using the part to create additional queens. How this is accomplished is not yet known. Further investigation or termination protocols pending site director approval. Oof. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that other than oof. But it certainly was an Ant-Man. Now, it only makes us stronger. Oh, we finally got a keter. Been a little while. Alright. All instances of SCP-1583 are to be held in individual pressurized containment units located within Joint Containment Area 8. Each chamber is to be separated by a distance of half a kilometer, and no instance of 1583 should be brought closer than this distance. All chambers are fitted with hydraulic pistons, preventing 1583 instances' lids from opening. Kind of looks like the container from Return of the Living Dead. All instances of 1583 must be held down with at least 14 MPa, whatever that means, of pressure at all times. In the event that a containment breach event occurs within the area, the pressure being placed upon the instances must increase by 60% for each confirmed breach. The Global Occult Coalition Group of Interest will report any movement or activity from the containment areas they administrate to contain 1583 instances. If the possibility arises to seize an instance from one of these locations, it should be acted upon immediately. Currently, the Foundation and GOC have contained 61 instances of 1583. The area around former Site 57 is to be artificially sealed via a poured concrete structure surrounding the former facility. Within this bunker, temperatures must exceed 500 degrees Celsius in order to prevent the spread of 1583 entities. Heat emitters based around SCP-334 research have been constructed on site. A facility built around it has been staffed by Foundation personnel who are to communicate with GOC personnel on means of destroying the entity. Description: SCP-1583 designates a collection of metallic barrels designed for use in supplying fallout shelters. In reproduced images, the exteriors feature the informational text originally printed on them. When viewed directly, the labels read, "Notice from Department of Defense. This device can be used in your shelter or other places of refuge to protect yourselves and your family from the horror of nuclear warfare. Simply enter your family into the shelter of your choice and open your container. Safety will follow. You will be protected and comforted with your family bit by bit, held safely until every other seeker of comfort is too. Then we come out, rebuilding a burned world together. Blood and stone, flesh to wood, sweat and concrete, build in your image." When opened, instances of 1583 will release thin white thread-like organisms which will bind together in order to form a large appendage. It will attempt to seize living subjects and bring them within its mass. Following this, the thread-like portions of its mass will disassemble the subject's body. Outer epidermis will be destroyed within 14 seconds of contact, followed by muscles and other tissue. The subject's skeletal structure will slowly dissolve over a period of 2 to 3 hours. There is no observed limit to the quantity of mass that it's able of releasing, with containment breaches and redacted reaching almost 600 meters above the instance. This organism is capable of opening SCP-1583 on its own if there is nothing preventing it from exiting on the other side. These entities are possible to be destroyed through application of extreme heat, but if additional instances breach containment, or if containment by other organizations fails, the energy required to neutralize 1583 entities increases. In addition, the mass and speed of emergence has increased over time, currently being at 200 kilograms of matter every 15 seconds. 4 instances of 1583 have been destroyed by the Foundation since initial containment. If an instance of 1583 is opened, the pressure exerted by the organisms within all other instances will increase proportionately, requiring additional pressure to prevent containment breaches. This new increase in force will be permanent, and no way of reducing or relieving it has been found. The destruction of emergent 1583 entities has been found to have no effect on the new forces produced by other instances. It was recovered on September 19th, 1989, after an entity breached within the redacted group campus. Foundation agents were able to destroy the emergent entities and contain 20 instances of 1583. During this time, stored instances suddenly increased in pressure and breach, causing the destruction of Site 57, and then it was reclassified as a keter. On November the 15th of 1999, Foundation assets were able to confirm that the GLC possessed instances of 1583. GLC is believed to have breached one instance in a 1990 destruction attempt, which caused the initial Foundation reclassification. GLC personnel were contacted, and the current joint containment procedures were negotiated, with the Cologne Agreement established precedent for the joint containment of anomalies, which is SCP-3457. Addendum: following the destruction of Site 57, Foundation and GLC research personnel were able to observe the entities interacting with one another and the area around them. Following the destruction, building and other structures were reconstructed from the entity's mass. Several buildings which had been torn down or damaged, destroyed within the past 50 years were remade, such as the original barracks, greenhouse, and recreation areas. In addition, portions of the area covered by 1583 entities were constructed to appear from the towns of blank, 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 and somewhere else. 3% of all research personnel formerly stationed within Site 57 originated from these areas. Humanoid entities have also manifested, bearing resemblance to these subjects. They display limited memory of their past lives, generally have idealistic or incorrect memories of the subject's past. In addition, Entities may not match any individual subject, but a mixture of several whom were known to be friends or family members. These entities retain 1583's properties and should not be approached by Foundation personnel. Well, as keters go, it wasn't super long and it wasn't extremely terrifying. It's implied that these things are full of some sort of like super spider. But that brings us to the flotation device website, which I swear is not how you spell that word. It's Euclid, whatever it is. Also very short. It's Are We Cool Yet? It's not Are We Cool Yet, really. Anyway, SCP-1584's domain is to be blocked from all major internet service providers through Foundation agents and various world governments. Access to the website is to be granted to level 3 personnel. Description: SCP-1584 is a website formerly accessible from the domain www.flotationdevice.something at IP address 18.2.something. The only information on the webpage when loaded is safety JPEG and an image of an unmarked life preserver. As long as it is loaded on a device's browser, the device will lose a varying amount of mass so as to provide approximately 73.5 newtons of buoyant force in fresh water. How the mass is removed and subsequently returned is completely unknown. Molecular analysis shows that the molecule densities of the materials that make up the computer do not change. Additionally, the web page will automatically call local emergency services through internet or cellular reception. Both effects immediately cease when the web page is closed. It is not waterproof the object is loaded onto. In many cases, the object will quickly cease to function from water damage after being submerged, deactivating the effect. When loaded on devices too small to normally become this buoyant, equal to or less than 7,500 centimeters cubed, the webpage will instead display the message, "The mobile version of this service is still in development." Addendum 1. SCP-1584 was discovered at some point in 2000 something by a Foundation web crawler on a different website, ranked number 4 on the post Top 10 Weirdest Technology Websites. The blog post was removed, but was not deemed a security risk due to its relative lack of popularity. Okay. It would have been funny to have a picture for that one, but the only picture it could really have would be the picture, which they wouldn't want to do. So, that's going to do it for this episode. The next one we're going to be checking out Red Queen Island, Fetal Singularity, Dreamland, The Cliff Face, and Roman Anthropophagus. It sounds like that episode is going to be somewhere between creepy and messed up. But if you like this video, a like and a subscribe would be groovy. If you want to click the bell, you can do that as well so that you're notified of future uploads, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later!